it's Dawn from Pretty Shabby UK. Thanks for joining me on this tutorial. Today we're going to be making 3 cards. I just want to give a little caveat. We are making 3 cards, yes, and we are using 1 stamp and 2 papers. However, there are a few other bits that I've used as well, which I'm pretty sure are the standard craft items. So here's what you'll need. You'll need a stamp, obviously for 1 stamp, 2 papers, and you'll need 2 complementary papers. I use these, aren't they cute? Little floral, red floral and Japanese bird, I'm not sure what they are, but they came from this pad, Blooming Blossom, and it was £3 from the works, and you get, I think there's about 12 designs, 12 by 12 papers, absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, my daughter, she's had her little hands on, she's only 12, she absolutely loves crafting, but she rummages through the papers, snips out what she likes, and I'm left with the rest. Okay, so you're going to need some cardstock for the bases. I've just used A4 card, cut it down. And you're going to need some scraps of cardstock. This perfect way of getting rid of your scraps. If you're like me, you'll end up with loads of scraps from previous projects. So what I do, pop them in a folder, pop them in a drawer. I have all my drawers labelled up with what colours. So yeah, when I'm having to use mats, I'll go to my folder first, have a look through, see if I've got enough cardstock for the project. So, as an example, see what I only use like half a sheet, so instead of throwing the other half away, because I mean it's perfectly good, I just pop it in my drawer and I'll reuse it. It's just for stamping and colouring. Okay, what else you'll need is a paper trimmer, ruler, pencils and eraser. If you're anything like me, you'll like to mark it down so you don't do it wrong. You'll need a craft knife and a blade, colouring markers, scoreboard, double-sided tape or glue. Now I'm having a problem with my glue. Every single glue that I seem to use kind of soaks through the paper, so I've read it's something to do with the water content, but if you've got any suggestions, just drop me a link in the comments of what glues you use. So the stamps I'm going to be using today are called Japanese Dream, and it came free with Creative Stamping magazine that I subscribe to, and it's issue 104 in case you're interested. I'm going to be using this Japanese lady. Isn't she pretty? I love the flowers on her dress, umbrella, but to be honest, they're all absolutely gorgeous images, really stamped well. So yeah, I made her on a card for my niece. It was a bridge card. Well, I think I should just link the video, make the video and link it. But it was lovely. And I also used the koi carp for my husband's birthday card. I did I think it was 3 little koi carps in a pond swimming around with some lily pads, and it was just a cute little card. But I mean, come free with a magazine, really good value for the stamps. Yeah, so should we crack on? So yeah, this is just a regular side fold card. I stamped the lady half size. I'll show you how to do that actually. It's so simple. What you need to do is to get your stamping platform, pick your stamp. I'm just gonna show you on the lady. So I'll just get some scraps. Yeah, do you know what? I am the queen of scraps. If there's a scrap to be used, I will definitely use it. I absolutely hate all the waste that you can run up with your card. So just pop your paper in there, pop your lady on where you want to stamp her. Right, yeah. Okay, just give it a thing so the lady pops up. Right, so take your other piece of scrap card. It doesn't really matter what you use on this, just kind of line it up to where you think you want to cut the lady off. I think that'll do. Yeah, so yeah, that'll do. And then just give her a quick stamp. folded down. Give her a rub over to... Oh, do you know what? This has been such a godsend. I love it. I think I bought it from Amazon. If I find the link, what I'll do is I'll pop it in the description below, but you know, so handy. Right, well, I haven't quite got her where I want her, so I'm just gonna scoot the paper down and have another go. Just give it a quick rub over where I didn't quite make it at the bottom. And yeah, that'll do. So, you know, how easy was that? It's just like stamping regularly. So there you go, half the lady from the full lady. I mean, this technique is just so easy, but it practically doubles your stamp. So I think you can use it with any stamp, but you just got to be careful where you know, cut them off. So like I say, this card's just a regular side fold card. You pop your insert in. Well, you can make it as fancy and as plain as you want, but for this purpose I'm only gonna just do it quite plain. I know I said one stamp, but I did sneak another little sentiment in. I mean, you can't have a card without a sentiment, right? Okay, so take cardstock. You're gonna need your scoreboard with this. Let's just get that out of the way. Okay, so your piece of cardstock should measure 11 1/4 by 5 3/4, and you want to score at 5 3/4. I think most cards are this size, so just squeeze it down. Oh, do you know what? I'm going to use the bone folder to just give it a good burnish so it stays nice. Next, you're going to put your mat on, and your mat is 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. Get me a little pokey tool. Oh, this might take a while, sorry. This is why I need the glue. It just takes forever with this. I do suffer from carpal tunnel, so kind of grabbing small pieces of paper or like some of my movements are a bit limited, so that's why I want the glue, because I just think it'll be so easy. But with the glue soaking through the paper, it just kind of either it ruins the paper or it just goes rock hard and it's like not flexible at all. But yeah, I hate all this waste with the plastic stuff. I mean, it's just so much waste, and obviously it's not good for the environment. Anyway, enough about me moaning. So pop your layer on. Yeah, when I first started card making, I was just like, well, how do they get the sizes for the cards? There's got to be some sort of way. And then I was researching, because they don't really have a lot of videos targeted for beginners. I mean, yeah, there's easy cards to make. However, some of the techniques and formulas and that I've not been able to find. But I was looking around and trying to work it out, and it's just actually quite simple. So what you do is you just reduce it by, say, about 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch, depending on how big you want your border. So what I've done here is I've just reduced it by 1/4 inch. So you kind of like get a narrower border. If you wanted 1/2 inch, then your border would be a lot deeper. So it just depends. I mean, I think it's about 1 centimetre, a centimetre and a half in the UK. See, in the UK we use both. We use like centimetres for pretty much everything, but inches for cards and photography. So I'm just going to stick to inches anyway. So here I've made the two mats and layers in the shape of an L. So what you it's just basic mats and layers. So the size for your mats and your layers is your mat measures 2 inches across and 5 inches down. Your layer is 1 3/4 by 4 3/4. However, I forgot to mention this before, if you're using directional paper, make sure that the direction is the right way. So this one I'm going to use across the bottom because the paper is that way, so I've had to cut the other one long ways so it fits down the side. So just have a think on about whichever way your paper direction goes before you start making a cut. That paper didn't actually make a difference because it's non-directional, so yeah, that's just something to bear in mind. Have to just give a big shout out to my pokey tool. I love it. Yeah, it came in a pack of 3, so I got this one with the hook, with the point. Then there was 2 hooked ones, one with a narrow hook and one with a larger hook. Got it from, I think it was Poundland, Poundworld, Pound Bargains or something like that, and it was in the hardware section. So just check out your hardware sections because you'll find it is a lot cheaper than actually buying craft ones. God, that makes me tight. No, but you know, at the end of the day, it does the same job. So with your mats and layers, just decide how you want them. You can have them coming to the end of the mat, or you can just, you know, have it coming to the end of the layer. Personally, I think I'm going to anchor mine to this corner. I just like the look, so yeah, I'll anchor it to the top of the mat so you can't see the paper. I'll just stick that on. But yeah, have you guys got any good bargains from like a pound shop or something, you know, that's not necessarily a craft related item, but you use it in your crafting? It'd be quite interesting to see what people use. So yeah, just line that up. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. I think that looks alright. You can still see the paper at the top and the bottom, and it's perfectly aligned. Now just pop your image. Oh yeah, the image is, the mat was 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch because I cut the image to 3 inches by 3 inches. I thought I'd done this. So yeah, more scraps used. Queen of scraps. So I'm just going to anchor this to right on the edge of the 2 mats and layers. Just lines up nicely. It looks pretty good actually. So I'm just going to finish with the sentiments. Can I have it cross like that? Maybe down. No, do you know what? I think I like it down. Just pull it in a little bit. Yep, that'll do. Yep, love that. So just pop it on some 3D foam pads, which I forgot to include in the you will need list. Yeah, so to be honest, this is the first video that I've made and I'm just so nervous. I don't even know why. So I'm a little bit all over the shop with it, but hopefully, well, they will get better in time, promise. So I'm got my editor's hat on at the moment. Never edited a video before, so not only learning craft skills but learning editing skills. Let me know what I'm doing. Just looking for a bit of feedback, anything you'd like to see, anything you don't like to see, I will take on board. So yeah, there's the first card. It's just a simple one, like I say. Pop your insert in there and there you go. So yeah, go grab a brew, put me on pause, I won't mind, and I'll see you back with card number 2. So the next card we're going to do is the Centre Stepper. It's just a cute little card. I made a prototype which was the Art Deco. It was inspired by my friend's love of Art Deco, and I found the stamp at a car boot sale, to be honest, and I saw it and I thought, right, birthday coming up, I'll get it. Okay, so you need a piece of cardstock and it measures 11 1/4 by 5 3/4. So what you need to do is measure with a pencil 1 inch in on either side. Okay, and take that 1 inch up. So you have like an inch square, like a box of an inch square on each side. I'm quite lucky because my ruler actually measures 1 inch across. So how good's that? Once again, that was from a pound shop. So we're going to need to go up and make another inch block. And an inch out, an inch down. So you'll end up with 2 1 inch squares on either side of your card. These are gonna be your scoring points, which make the stepper. Okay, so there's your 2 inch blocks. Then measure up six and 5/8. Do that on the other side as well. So just join that to the bottom block. And you need to do it on the other side. So it's 6 and 5/8 in an inch. And then just pencil line all the way down to the bottom. So you end up with an inch block, and a long block. I think that long block measures 4 5/8. So measure an inch down from the top line, but only pencil in between the lines. So you've got like an inch of plain, then your line, then an inch of plain again. So you're going to score, score, score and score, and then you'll cut down. So you'll need your blade, and you're going to cut from the top to the top of your first inch. Don't cut all the way down, just to the top of your first inch, and you're going to use that line that you've just drawn. Same on the other side. So much easier cutting on this side. I think it's just because you can see the lines. So you'll end up with a piece of card like that. You see how the bottom's not cut? Because that'll fold in to make your stepper. Next you need to, put my knife away. Next you'll need to score on the lines that go across. You're not scoring all the way through the card, you're just going to score up to that line. So on your inch, up to the line, and then at 2 inches up to the line, and then your 6 5/8 up to the line. Then you score your middle line. Do you know, I need a new scoreboard. There's nothing wrong with this scoreboard. I'm not a fan of it. So that's why I use my ruler to make sure that I'm in the tracks and I don't go off track. Because sometimes it skitters out the track. I don't know if it's me being a little too heavy-handed or whether it's the board. I mean, the board's good because it does have centimetres on one side and inches on the other. You might have noticed the eye on my inches. It's just laziness really, so I don't have to worry about which side I'm using. Okay, so you've done all your scoring. So the top ones you need to do mounting folds. Just pinch it. The middle line you do a mounting fold. Your top inch one you do a valley fold. And then the bottom inch you do a mounting fold. And there you go, you stepper card. Now just give it a good burnish. And then all you need to do is just give your pencil marks a quick rubbing out. Not that you'll see them, but just in case. Okay, so you've done the base of your stepper card. I think the next thing to do now is just to decorate. So the bottom panel measures, the mat is 5.5 by 3/4 and the layer is 5.25 by 5.5. The side panels measure 4.5 by 3/4 and the layer is 4 by 1/2 inch. That's for both of them. Now remember, if you're using directional paper, you do need to take into account when you cut for your layers. Okay, the middle piece, the mat is 3.5 by 4.5. Oh, excuse my pink hair. That's the problem with having an overhead camera. If you lean too far forward, it picks up your noggin. And your layer is 3/4 by 4.25. No, sorry, it's 3.25 by 4.25. And once again, directional paper, you need to make sure that it's pointing in the correct way. Just give that a quick burnish. So the image mat is 2.75 by 5.25 and the image layer is 2.5 by 5 inches. I just like to fold the card to see what it's going to look like stuck down before I actually stick it down. And the way I've done this, I'm just lining up the red mat to the bottom of the white mat. sticky bits of plastic that come off the sticky back. The double-sided sticky tape are so annoying. They just stick to your fingers and then get stuck everywhere. Now, with the birthday sentiment, I didn't quite have enough room anywhere to put a mat in because it was 1 inch by 2 3/4 and I couldn't get it any smaller. So I have just popped a little bit of warm lipstick around just to give it a little bit of depth to the card. You can put a mat on if you wished and cover some of the image, but I just didn't want to cover that image. Yeah, I think we'll go for that corner. So just pop some 3D foam on just to give it a bit of dimension. So with it being 1 inch deep, it's the same dimensions as your actual base of your card, so it should fit snug as a bug. And these foam pads as well I managed to get from Poundland, and they were in the like a home DIY section area, so they're not specifically craft ones, but they work. I mean, if you didn't want to put your happy birthday separate, you could always stamp it and put it up the side, but there you go. That's card number 2, the centre stepper card. Just pop your insert inside, or if you didn't want to use it on the inside, you can just pop it on the back. So I hope you like that one. Here we go, card 3, the final hurdle, and we're going to make this one. I did make one with matte and layers, although I found that I'd used heavy cardstock, so that layers made it a little bit top heavy. So on this one, what I've done is just put the paper directly onto the card. If you want to use the matte and layers on your card, just use the same measurements and then drop the papers down by about 1/4 of an inch. I'm still going to use the matte on the front of the card and the layer and the image. So we're going to start off with a piece of cardstock, and that's going to measure 9 inches by 7 inches and score it in 3 inches and 6 inches. Now we'll divide them up into 3 sections, so we'll have A, B and C. So section A and B, and that's going to be C. Not going to do much with section B because that's going to have your image on. We're going to work mainly on section A and section C. So each of these pieces have been individually cut and glued on. Are you any good at cutting and gluing? Yeah, no, I'm not. No good at measuring, so I've got a real easy way of doing it. A hack, if you like. No, we'll start with the card first. We'll do the card base first, actually. So we're going to start work on section A. So I'll grab a pencil and a ruler, and from the top of the left corner to the bottom of the right corner in section A, if you just draw a pencil line, and then from the top right to the bottom left, just draw another pencil line, and if you measure in 1.5 inches, that should find the middle. Just do another mark at the top, and then you join them up, and it should go directly through your center point. We're going to just do exactly the same on section C. So from the top left corner to the bottom right corner, then from the top right to the bottom left, then measure 1.5 inches across, same on the bottom, then just draw a line straight through. Don't know if you can see that, but it's made like a star shape which crosses all the way through in the centre. I'll switch my light on. I don't know if that's going to make a difference because it's just suddenly gone dark here. I don't know if we're expecting rain or thunder or something, but UK weather, it's great, isn't it? There you go, you can just about see the lines. See, perfectly centered point there, and that's going to make it so much easier when it comes to folding. So you want to get your scoreboard and you want to score over them lines, so from the top left to the bottom right. I like to anchor my ruler to the top of my scoreboard and make sure I go down the tracks. It just helps me get a crisper score. Okay, so we score down, then we're going to do the same again from the top right to the bottom left. And then straight through that middle and we just, I don't know, can you see that? Don't know if it's showing up on camera very well. There is kind of, you can see the score lines of the star. So we're just going to repeat the process again on section C. So top left to bottom right, and then top right to bottom left, and then we go down that central score line. The tighter you make this, the easier it is to fold, because the card just wants to actually fold once you've done your score lines and a couple of folds. Yeah, you should be able to see that. I think I've managed to hit it on the sweet spot, the shadow, so we're going to just fold the outside score lines. So if we do that, and then we do the 3-inch one, and we do the 6-inch one, and the other one, the half point, they're all mounting folds, so you should end up with like a rectangle shape. Just give them a good burnish. I'm pretty sure the burnishing actually just makes it much more pliable. Okay, so fold your point to point score lines, so your top right, bottom left, and then your bottom right, top left. And just repeat on the other side. Make sure you give them a good burnish in between. Okay, now to see if you've got your lines absolutely correct. Now just want to squeeze the two centre bits together and your card will automatically fold. So there you go, just make sure you give that a good burnish, you don't want to lose that shape. Pinch and fold. Okay, so that's your base for your card. This is relatively simple, isn't it, really? It just looks really effective. Now, to get all of those individual pieces, we have to make sure that doesn't cross over the score line, otherwise it's going to hamper the fold from folding over. So with your piece of paper, you have 4 of these, 2 in one pattern, 2 in the other. You want to measure 2 3/4 by 6 3/4. Don't forget that you need to take into account the directional pattern. If you don't use a directional pattern, that's even easier. So we're gonna draw a line, top left to bottom right, top right to bottom left, find the centre, put a line through, just as we did with the side of the cards. Grab your paper trimmer, and what you want to do is make sure you pop it from corner to corner, point to point, and just go and cut down your pencil lines. Just, if you can, make sure that you bang on with your pencil lines, because it enables them to adhere better to the cardstock and they don't overhang. Oops. So like I said before, if you're using non-directional paper, the pieces will just go together really well. There you go, not a bad likeness, hey? Let's just have a little test. Perfect. So how cool was that hack? Yeah, just the thought of cutting and measuring, measuring, cutting, making sure I was correct on the angles just doesn't make me. Oh, it fills me with dread, to be perfectly honest. So now you just have the task of working out what pieces you want where. So you're going to have 4 pieces that are going to be cut in exactly the same way. So you'll have 4 back pieces, and then you'll have 8 like mini triangles. So it's just a matter of working out what you want where. Have a play, have fun with it. Think I'm going to use the bird one for my back pieces. Now, if you use non-directional paper, that's better, but I'm a glutton for punishment. Didn't actually realise that it'd make such a difference until I started making the video. So but yeah, this is the fun part, just having a little play, and this should all fit exactly right. I have noticed on this I've put one of the pieces incorrectly in the wrong, but it'll work itself out when I actually stick it down. you'll find all your pieces fit and don't go over the crease to fold, and your fold still moves really easy. Okay, stick. I don't know what's going on. Called me half again last night, half a job. Yeah, as you can see, this one again is scrap piece of paper. It's just one that I've had laying around. So just pop it where you want it going. I'm going to have mine at the bottom. Like that. Put my image on top because I'm going to sneak another little sentiment on. So the image I cut down to 2.5 by 6.5. These sentiments I cut so it's equal, so that is 2.25 by 1.25, and the actual sentiment I cut at 2 inches by 1 inch, so they both line up. And there you go. And it sounds perfect. So there you have it. 1 stamp, 2 papers, 3 cards. Well, thanks for joining me. If you've enjoyed this video, if you give me a like, feel free to subscribe for more crafty videos. If you can help me out on the glue situation, pop a comment in the box below. I'd be most grateful. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like. Bye.